Hey. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. Happy Wednesday, everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, you might notice that I am in the bed. Now, I said this to all of you, that what goes up must come down. Mental health was up. Now mental health is down. It's kind of aggressively down. I'm actively seeking out a new therapist. So sometimes when that happens, when you're having a low mental health day, you just need to cry on a work meeting, on a work call to your entire team. And then you need to take to the bed, light a fall candle, drink out of your Stanley, and pony up Buttercup and record anyway. So here we are. Let's see. Today's going to be kind of just like a little pop culture catch up and some life updates. And as we kick things off, I just want to say I love you guys and I hope you're having an amazing week. And if you're in a low mental health place like me right now, you are not alone. Again, what goes down must come up. That's the other thing. Mental health is so interesting because I feel like depression and anxiety, I've said this before, I'll say it again, is like a fog. It just sort of settles and you're like, whoa, the weather has changed. That was unexpected. And then one day it kind of just lifts and you're like, oh my God, back to sunshine. That's cool. Okay, great. Sunny days ahead. And, I honestly kind of wish that I live in Southern California, for those of you who don't know, in Los Angeles. And I will say there's nothing like having a low mental health day where the weather doesn't cooperate. I would feel so much better being in a bummed out mood if the weather co-signed and was like, yes, got it. We understand. We've got you. Dark, stormy, gloomy. You just cozy up with your heating pad and Meghan Markle's show and we'll take care of the vibes and the rest. But no, in Los Angeles, especially this time of year, it is so fucking sunny and so goddamn hot that you truly feel it's hard because it's at the same time there's pressure to be outside because it's sunny, but also it's so blazing hot that you want to stay inside. And I don't know, everything feels like a pressure cooker right now for me personally in LA. And I'm hoping to skip town sometime soon just to shake it up. And I know that it's wherever you go, there you are. But I'm sorry, it is fall everywhere else. I was looking at the weather in Chicago, it's 63 degrees. I'm get me out of here. I saw this Meg Stalter interview where this was a couple months ago when Too Much came out, that new show that she's in on Netflix that Lena Dunham wrote and directed, or at least wrote, I don't remember. And someone was asking her, hey, did you love shooting in London? And Megan Stalter was yeah, it's really cool. But then some mornings you're just eating breakfast and you're get me out of here. And honestly, that's how I feel about LA right now. I can't help it. At least I have London to look forward to. And I appreciate those of you who sent me recommendations. Love and light to you. I really appreciate it. And I'm starting to put together my outfits in my head, which is very exciting. The only thing is I don't have the budget to just reinvent myself. And I know I'm anticipating doing some shopping in London. So I'm trying to strike the balance between what I should bring versus what I might buy there, along with some of my freelance gigs have dropped off and I am not making it rain the way I was 3 months ago. So it's just a lot to keep in mind. Let's just talk about sweaters really quick as we head into fall. The thing about sweaters that I've realized, no matter where you live, in Southern California, I really don't need that many sweaters, but no matter where you live, you can never have enough sweaters. And the problem is every year fall and winter roll around and I go, I want new sweaters. I crave new sweaters. So maybe I'll get 1 or 2 new sweaters, but I don't want to get rid of my old sweaters. I'm just kind of sick of them right now. So I add new ones. And when that process happens every single year, then you suddenly have too many sweaters and then you're just sick of all your sweaters. But again, you don't want to get rid of the sweaters. So you get new sweaters. And I have too many given where I live. But every year I'm no, I'm not going to get rid of that oversized cream one from Target that I got like 4 years ago. No. Like I will miss her if I get rid of her. She has to stay. But I do all of a sudden want like a navy fisherman sweater, which I don't have yet. And that's challenging because they take up so much fucking closet space. And I'm already struggling with that this year, especially as I plan to go to London and hopefully skip town to somewhere else autumnal before then. Manifesting. Okay. Also, because I've been neglecting Grow Up, I've decided to restructure the episodes and open with Grow Up instead of end with Grow Up like I did last week. So let's start with Grow Up. This week's Grow Up is, I have two. The first one is when you say you don't like something and someone tries to convince you otherwise. Like when you're like, yeah, I'm just like, I saw that movie. I didn't really like it. And they're like, oh my God. Okay, you should rewatch it. Maybe you were in a bad mood that day. Were you hungover that day? Do you not like that actor? Because actually that actor is a really good actor. And like, how do you not like it when the score is so good? And how do you not like it when the writing is so good? And like, you should really rewatch it. I think you might like it more the second time. Bitch, I told you I didn't like it. We're wasting time. We're wasting breath. We're wasting precious, finite, God-given breath on this planet, getting in this silly little argument about this pretty innocuous topic, i.e. this food or drink or place or movie or TV show that I didn't like. You're trying to convince me otherwise. I told you what I thought. Love and light to you. I appreciate your passion. I appreciate your spunk regarding this particular thing that you love so much. You're probably not going to change my mind, and I'm probably not going to revisit it. So I think we can just stop with this. My second grow up is when a bartender, respectfully, a girl bartender is not a girl's girl. That's tough. This is inspired by true events. So yesterday, Jake and I went to a local sports bar near our house to watch some football. It ended up being a very crowded, fiery hellscape, and I don't really know why I expected otherwise. Maybe because I'm like a theater kid and I'm like, no one else is going to think of this idea, and like everyone did. But the bar was like multiple people deep. And I was standing towards the end of the bar to order a drink because I had just seen a guy order a beer and like get his beer and start drinking it. So I kind of like get to the end of the bar and I like see the bartender coming towards me. So I think she's ready and I kind of do like a boop, like a hey. And she's like, you need to come over here. And she like herds me towards this line in the middle of the bar that I didn't even see because it was so crowded. I couldn't really make out like what was a line and what was just like a crowd of people. So I kind of like go to the line and I'm kind of confused where to stand. And I was like, oh, and then she goes, you need to get to the back because these people are here before you. And I was like, okay. And of course, I do not believe in cutting lines at all. I think it's actually one of the most annoying things you could do. Quick tangent. One time I was at Universal Studios with Jake and some friends. And we were in line for the Jurassic World ride, which honestly, overrated, especially since they redid it. But this guy with a backpack comes up to us in line and he goes, my friends are up there. My friends are up there. And he does this through the entire line. And he gets to the front of the line. You know who he was meeting? No one. A con artist, a grifter. He lied to get to the front of the Jurassic World ride line. So I do not believe in cutting lines. I think it's really annoying. And I remember that day being like, he can't get away with this. This is crazy behavior. With his backpack. Oh, there's just someone up there. Just someone up there. Bitch, there was no one up there. You're a liar. You lied. How do you sleep at night? So I'm like, oh, and I get in this line and it's like, it's not about the line, like it's not about the posta. It's about the attitude. It's about her getting tooty with me. It's her popping an attitude, copping an attitude. Being like, you need to get over there and you need to get to the back of the line. Bitch, I didn't know there was a line. I didn't know I was trying to cut to the front of it. All of this is news to me because all I see is a throng of people trying to order drinks. So forgive me that I could not understand how this bar that I never go to works. I'm literally doing my best. So I got to the back of the line and I was like, not a girl's girl. And then I get to the front and she's like, hey, what can I get for you? And all of a sudden it was like she worked at, I don't know, like Chili's. It was like, hey, welcome to Chili's. I was like, why are you so nice all of a sudden? I had whiplash, honey. But the initial vibe I got, not a girl's girl. And I got to the front of the line and of course I was super polite. Of course I tipped super well because I am, while an asshole, simultaneously an angel. Let me know if that resonates with you. So yeah, if you're a bartender who's a girl and you're not a girl's girl, grow up. And if I say I like something, or if I say I don't like something and you try to convince me otherwise, also grow up. Okay, moving on. I want to make a movie recommendation for you all. The most adorable, charming indie movie came out, or is coming out on September 12th in theaters. It's called The Baltimoreans, and it is co-written and stars my friend Michael Strassner. We used to be in acting class together many years ago, and from day one, I clocked that he was a star. It doesn't take much because he's so clearly a star, but to see him crushing it the way he is so inspiring. And I went to a screening of the movie last week with a Q&A after, and I was like so inspired by like the story behind the movie. And it's directed by Jay Duplass, and I love him. And it was just like such an adorable, sweet Christmas movie. It was romantic. It was funny. It had so much heart. I love like an indie movie. Honestly, like every Thanksgiving, I watched the movie Pieces of April with Katie Holmes. And like there was that gorgeous era in like the early 2000s to like 2010s of like really amazing indie movies. And I feel like The Baltimoreans feels like it could be like plopped in that time period. And so it's just so encouraging and inspiring and refreshing to see like an original story be told in this really cool, creative way. I just really loved it. So wherever you are, look up The Baltimoreans, see it in theaters, save indie cinema, support indie cinema, check it out. Also, they're doing Q&As in like a bunch of different cities. So if you can make it to one, I highly recommend that you do. The Wuthering Heights trailer is out, directed by Emerald Fennell. And I love Saltburn. I hate Promising Young Woman. That movie pissed me off. It haunted me, put me in a horrible mood. It's not that it was badly done, but I just hated how it ended. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This sucks. This is not a like revenge story at all. Ugh. But I loved Saltburn. So I'm super excited for Wuthering Heights. And the trailer looks like it's going to be opulent and horny, and Jacob Elordi with a beard and fingers in Jacob Elordi's mouth, and Margot Robbie like on the verge. I love a story about a woman on the verge because like who among us isn't on the verge sometimes? I'm on the verge right now. So I'm really excited about that. It's just nice to have good movies to look forward to, you know. Oh, we have a celebrity guest on the podcast today. Nora has now decided to join us. Oh my God. Can you see her on YouTube? Oh my God, she's in my lap. You want to say hi? Oh, okay, I'll let you go. All right, an update on the neighborhood skunk, TM, that I saw in my yard a couple weeks ago. Jake and I were walking Monty in the evening last week. It was nightfall, okay? And one of the guys a few blocks down who we like recognize from the neighborhood, we're not like friends per se, but we see him, oh, hey neighbor, you know, neighborly shit like that. He goes, hey guys, be careful. I'm pretty sure a skunk just like ran through my yard. And I've seen a skunk in my yard like multiple times lately, so just be careful with your dog. And we were like, no fucking way. I saw a skunk in my yard. He was like, I've seen it, Nora. He's like, I've seen it multiple times in my yard. And we were like, okay, now the pieces are falling together. The chips are falling into place. Okay, I don't know if that's a phrase, but it is now. This skunk, I don't know if it's singular or if it's a family, are quite literally wreaking havoc on my neighborhood. And then no sooner, so we're on the walk and I get this like skunk odor in my nose. And I'm like, babe, I smell it. Like skunk is skunking. And Jake's like, no, what? No, I don't smell that. It just smells like, you know, kind of like rubber. I'm like, Jake, that's skunk smell. He's like, is it? I was like, that is skunk smell, babe. No sooner do I get home, this odor has infiltrated my entire home. In the amount of time that it took for us to find out from our local neighbor that the skunk was in his yard to us finishing our walk and getting home, maybe 10 minutes, our backyard was skunked. Our backyard was skunked by the neighborhood skunk. And I have enough going on, okay? Nora, I swear, Nora's trying to burrow under my pillow that I'm using as a makeshift desk. And it's not the time and it's not the place. I am literally on the verge. Okay. So my backyard was skunked. My back house neighbor and I are texting. We're like, oh my God, what the fuck are we supposed to do? I'm on Amazon being like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a sweater for London when I have to spend hundreds of dollars on deodorizing shit on Amazon. And skunk deodorizer on Amazon is like $50. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't take this on right now. Okay. Quit literally wreaking havoc in my neighborhood. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen like a video of a baby skunk. Like, they're very cute. Okay. Like, they're aesthetically very cute. Growing up, I loved the whole like Pepe Le Pew storyline, which is honestly problematic. And I don't know what that says about me. But I don't want my yard skunked. And I think the local skunk needs to find somewhere else to skunk. Not up in here. Not up in here. And I don't know if he's done. We could just be beginning. How many are there? How many are there? I can't do this. I can't do this. Okay, moving on. There's a new documentary on Netflix called Unknown Number, The High School Catfish. If you have not seen it, I've seen a lot of true crime documentaries. I've seen Dear Zachary, which is the most fucked up true crime documentary you could possibly watch. But I saw this and I said, what the fuck? I said, listen, I'm having a low mental health moment, but no matter what happens to me, things could always be worse. I could be anyone involved in this story. So the concept is no spoilers. This 14-year-old girl named Lauren is dating this 14-year-old boy named Owen. They're this cutesy little high school couple, little teeny boppers. Their families are close friends. All of a sudden, Lauren starts getting text messages from this unknown number. And the way they do it in the documentary is like the text will pop up on the screen and it will be read by this like distorted voice that's like, fuck you, ugly bitch. You should kill yourself. You're a terrible person. And Owen likes me. He doesn't like you. And it's like she starts getting a barrage of like evil texts. This lasts for years. And by the end of the documentary, you know who sent them. And when I tell you, it is like a plot. I'm trying to think of like a comparable plot twist that like really blew my mind. It's like American Horror Story season 1 when Tessa Farmiga, spoiler alert, finds out that she was dead the whole time and that's how she was dating Evan Peters. It's like a plot twist of that magnitude where you're like, what the fuck? And you feel just like off kilter in your own reality. So if you haven't seen it, if you like true crime, check it out. Unknown Number, The High School Catfish. And please DM me and let me know your thoughts because it is crazy. Another show that just came out is called Love Thy Nader. It's on Hulu. It's basically about this influencer girl, Brooks Nader, and her hot sisters. It's honestly like a modern Kardashians. And I will say, Hulu is coming for Bravo's crown, okay? When it comes to like good reality TV between like Mormon Wives, obviously not Vanderpump Villa, but like Mormon Wives and now Love Thy Nader, they know what they're doing. And I think Hulu was like, listen, we know that Kardashians is a flop now. We know it has been for a while. How can we take this formula and recreate it with some fresh new people? And the Nader girls are fantastic television. Fantastic television. The youngest one, I forget what her name is. I think it's like Sarah Ann or something. She's one of those beautiful creatures I've truly ever seen on the planet. She has these thick, with 2 C's, eyebrows, snatched ponytail, snatched face, giant fake boobs. They're all like stick thin with giant fake boobs. And they're just like works of art. And they are always bickering and fighting and like talking about their like modeling career and like they like grew up religious in Baton Rouge, but now they're like Brooks is like humping her boyfriend Gleb in public and like in front of her parents. And she's like, I just want to be free and like be myself. It's just like, there's a very like 2015 energy about it that I find to be deeply soothing and healing. So if you're looking for a good binge, might I recommend Love Thy Nader. Okay, also, it was the VMAs last night. And I did not watch, mainly because I don't care. Which is so crazy because, like, in a lot of ways, I feel like as a kid, I loved award shows more than anything. I did not miss one. VMAs, MTV Movie Awards, Kids' Choice, Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, Tonys. I watched them all, honey. I was there. I didn't even know who the fuck the nominees were. I just was like, oh my God, like, let's go. I was so inspired by award show culture. And now I find it to be quite exhausting. And that's kind of a bummer because I do feel like there are usually some fun, like pop culture moments, pop culture takeaways, but I always know that they're going to land on TikTok anyway. So out of sheer laziness, I'm just like, yeah, I'll catch it later. So highlights from the VMAs that have come across my desk. First of all, Lady Gaga won Artist of the Year. We love to see it. She was dressed like a gothic queen. We love to see it. We are so fucking back, you guys. Addison Rae was not in attendance, and that was upsetting to me. I think because she's currently on tour and she couldn't, I think she's in Europe right now. Last thing I saw on her Instagram, she was in Dublin. So she probably couldn't make it back from Dublin during tour to make an appearance, but it didn't feel like the VMAs without Addison because she's having such a banner year as a pop star. So I did miss her. But Tate McRae, Tate McRae gave one of the most iconic VMAs performances I did see. She is so fucking hot. She is so fucking good at dancing, but her vocals also hit. Everything was sharp, clean, well executed. There was a dance break where she was dancing in a sandbox with black sand with her background dancers. It was so sharp. It was just to me, it instantly goes in the iconic VMA moments books. And I don't think the VMAs will ever be what they were during the Britney, Christina, Beyonce, early 2000s era. But I will say, not my light dying. I can't do this right now. Well, my light died, and that's showbiz. I will say that in the grand scheme of VMA's performances, I think she crushed it. I think she's one of the current pop stars who's the best at pop starring, in my opinion. And I was a late adopter of Tate McRae. I was like, who is a Tate McRae? What's a Tate McRae? Why do I care? And then I realized I loved her songs. I love watching her dance. I love how she's just her whole vibe feels so 90s and so 2000s. It just feels like such an homage to the pop stars that we grew up with as millennials. So I'm like, Tate McRae, keep doing your thing. And then we had Sabrina Carpenter. And Sabrina Carpenter is so cute, so talented. I said on my Instagram story that I was like, this album is not my favorite. I'm kind of bored. And I do stand by that. But my relationship with Sabrina Carpenter is even though I'm not a fan as far as I don't really listen to her album straight through, I really will just pick and choose 1 to 2 tracks that I'm obsessed with. And then I'll kind of throw away the rest. That's what I've experienced on this newest album, Man's Best Friend. I'm really into Nobody's Son, and I'm really into House Tour. Which I feel everyone likes those, especially there's nothing like TikTok to make me be now hold on, that's a bop. But she did her performance. It was cute. It was good. I will say I just am kind of, and again, to each their own, but I'm kind of tired of Sabrina Carpenter's sexy Polly Pocket thing. And what really grates on me the most, I think, is when she's hey, hi. It's the sing talking. Unless I'm listening to a musical soundtrack, I don't really want talking in my songs. Even with musicals, honestly, I remember as a kid, I would be listening to Wicked. I'd be listening to Defying Gravity. And when Idina Menzel's think of what we could do together, I was okay, can we wrap this part up and get back to the song? I felt awkward just sitting there with my headphones listening to Idina Menzel being think of what we could do together. And so now when I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter and I'm having a blast listening to House Tour, and then it ends with her being so, you want to come in? I'm it takes me out of it. And I saw a TikTok where this girl was what Sabrina Carpenter sounds like to me, and it was her imitating her. And so this is inspired by that. But when I think of Sabrina Carpenter, I think of her being hey, I'm making some meatballs in the basement. Would you like a serving? And it just gets a little much. It gets, have you tried this one? It's just sexual innuendo. And listen, I will say, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think the rise of puritanical bullshit in our country is fucking terrifying. It's not about sexual innuendo that I have a problem with. It's the cheeky, goo goo gaga, slutty Shirley Temple thing that I find to be a little grating, but also let her express herself as an artist. It's clearly working for her. So truly, what the fuck does my opinion matter? But those 2 tracks on her newest album, I do love. And she crushed it at the VMAs. Not my taste. It's the thing. We all have our own taste. Not my taste. But I'm not going to sit here and be she's not talented. She is. It's just not my thing. Now let's talk about an artist that is in their flop era. Make no mistake. And that is one Charles Puth. Okay. Here's the thing. If you're new around here, I have lore with Charlie Puth, okay? I was obsessed with him in 2021, 2022. I would say the amount of DMs I got from people being I did not know who this person was until you started posting about how much you love him, and now I know who he is. I got a lot of DMs like that because I was just I made it my personal brand. Ben Affleck is like so 2025. Charlie Puth was like so 2021, 2022 for me. So much so that I dressed up as him for Halloween in either 2021 or 2022. And I made a TikTok and he duetted it. And that was huge. I mean, it was massive. It was so exciting and funny. And then he took it down because it didn't get as good of views as his other videos. And ever since then, I've been like, you had a chance, Charlie Puth, to just make a fan's day. And like, you don't need the views, okay? Like, if you're that crushed by low views on a video with someone of like your success level who's making as much money as you are, like doing the thing you love, like, you gotta get into therapy. Like, you need some help. And so like, he took it down. I took it far too personally. And one thing about me is I'm really good at holding grudges and just like beating a dead horse. Like, I will not shut the fuck up if you've wronged me. I'm sorry. I want to be like, I'm healed and love and light and I'll move on. And like, I would get in so much less trouble if I were capable of just like shutting the fuck up about people who I think have wronged me. But unfortunately, I'm not there yet in my journey. I've come very far in my personal journey. I'm pretty proud of the person I am, but I would be lying if I was like, yeah, I'm so good at just like taking the high road and being like, I don't need to talk about that. It's like if someone's like, what happened with da-da-da? I'm like, oh, how much time do you have? And I will just spill my guts. And it's a very vulnerable place to put myself in. And I need to stop. But that's neither here nor there. Again, I'm trying to get back into therapy. I scheduled a consultation for Friday. Whoa! So check me out. Check me out. But back to Charlie Puth. So he took down my TikTok and I was like, that's fucking rude. And so I kind of like made that part of my brand for a while, just like making fun of the fact that Charlie Puth took down my TikTok. And since then, he has had, in the last year, let's just talk about the last calendar year. I've seen him twice in concert. His last album had some tracks that were bangers. I didn't love the whole thing. The best song he's ever done is Boy from Voice Notes, which is from 2019, I think. But like, he's had two major pop culture moments in the last year where he has been name dropped. He overcompensating. He had like there was a whole story arc where Mary Beth Barone was like, I almost missed Charlie for you. And her boyfriend kept being like, Puth? And she was like, XCX. And it was like an ongoing joke and overcompensating, which was one of the like breakout shows of the year. So like that was great free publicity for him. Before that, Taylor Swift name dropped him on Tortured Poets Department, was like, we declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. What has he done with that free publicity? Nothing. His career is a nothing burger. I have never seen someone so talented at music fuck it so bad. And you know why? I think it's because his marketing sucks. His marketing is like a Kids Bop star. Like there's something that reads so juvenile and sophomoric about the way he markets himself and his music. It feels very like, I'm in high school. And I'm like, you're not though. You're 34 years old. What is this? And most recently, he started a new Instagram called Whatever's Clever. And he keeps doing collab posts with it. And it's just like, whatever's clever, whatever's clever. And it's all these like cryptic photos of like a cassette tape and like Snoopy and like him like posing in front of like a backdrop that looks like it's at like a shitty photo place. And I'm like, it's trying so hard, but it's saying absolutely nothing. And it pisses me off because I love good marketing. I've said this before. I'm a marketer's dream. I love like Taylor Swift. Say what you want about her. Her marketing is fun. It's fun to be like, oh, the visuals just dropped for this. Where are we going to go with this? What's going to happen with this? His is like, it feels just so ill-conceived while also still being so try-hard in a way that just feels like it lacks like artistic vision. And I just want to be like, listen, get a new marketing team or creative team, maybe a new manager. I don't fucking know. But what the fuck is this? And also, I just think it's really like tacky to be, respectfully, an artist of Charlie Puth's like fame level, which is like you either know about him or you don't, which is why that joke in overcompensating was funny. To do this whole like secret project type thing where it's like cryptic posts being like, whatever's clever, whatever's clever. And it's like, what is whatever's clever? And why does your new album have its own Instagram? And like, why can't you just like stop being cryptic and like get serious? I don't understand. I shouldn't be this heated about it. This is why I got in a fight with Wes Wilson, because I get heated about stupid things. But when I see a really talented person who also seems to be kind of a dick, squandering a career and squandering the best free publicity opportunities a person could be given. It's annoying. It's a bit annoying because regardless of how I feel about Charlie Puth on a personal level, sometimes I like his music, and I would like him to like come out with music that doesn't make me feel like I'm about to orgasm and then never actually climaxing. Like that's how I feel about his music. A song will start and I'll be like, oh, okay, nothing, burger. This clip will haunt me. I can feel it in my bones. Every time I talk shit about a public-facing person, I go, Hannah, did you really want to do that? You sure about that? But here we are. And before you're like, Hannah, this is personal. It's just because you took down your TikTok. It's not. I, again, would love to just be able to enjoy his music and his marketing, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's so good, when like it's literally not. It's not. I'm trying to think of an artist whose marketing like really crushes apart from like Taylor Swift. Like Lorde is someone where I'm like, okay, you're in an era right now. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But like Lorde isn't starting a new fucking Instagram that just is just like virgin. It's like she's just coming out with virgin. It's like it feels like a distraction from the fact that like he's not actually doing anything. Do you know what I mean? If I were him, I've been talking about this for like 4 minutes. I'm really sorry. If I were him though, the second Taylor Swift song came out, which I'm sure he was given a heads up about, I would have just pulled a song out of my ass. Doesn't even need to be that good. I would have just been like, I don't have time to overthink this. I have so many new people who know my name. I'm going to drop something, anything. Nothing. A year later, we just get a cryptic Instagram with pictures of Snoopy on it. Grow up. Okay, what else? I came up with this idea for a club based on the fact that in LA loves like a secret entrance or like an if you know place. Like there's this bar called the Roger Room where like if you're standing out front, it looks like it's like a psychic, like a sketchy psychic with a neon sign in the window. But then you walk in and it's like craft cocktails. Like if you know, wink, wink. And so I have this bit with Jake where if we're like driving through the valley, I'll see like an empty warehouse. And I'll be like, that's actually a new restaurant. It's called Warehouse. And he'll be like, shut up. It's not. Or like there's a place called Laurel Hardware that like from the outside looks like a hardware store, but it's actually like a very hip and sceney restaurant and bar. And so like sometimes we'll drive by an actual like Ace Hardware and I'll be like, oh my God, new restaurant. Did you know it's a new restaurant? I hope we can get a reservation. And Jake's like, stop. So I came up with this idea for a club called Liminal Space. And as you know, I love Liminal Space's TikTok, which is like very unsettling. Like they'll use AI to make like images where you're like, I feel like I've been here before. And it kind of looks like a weird like empty mall. And you're like, I feel like I've been here before and I'm also deeply unsettled. And I'm like, what if there was a club called Liminal Space and it looked like the interior of like a like a suburban mall in the 90s with that like fountain smell, that like wet rock fountain smell and like fake plants and like high ceilings and like a weird glass elevator. I want to make a club called Liminal Space. And the whole idea is that it looks like a liminal space. And probably no one would want to go there because they'd be like, it's spooky in here. Who would want to get drunk in here? There are fluorescent lights. I don't want to be in here. But in my mind, at least the name Liminal Space kind of hits. And after going to Bar Lubitsch over the weekend for my friend's birthday and like dancing my ass off, I do think we need to bring back club culture in a way that makes sense and is fun. What else? Okay, 2 more things on my list. First of all, Waymos. We just need to take a moment for Waymos. I, within the last few weekends, have started my Waymo journey because I don't live in a Waymo zone, unfortunately. So when I've been in other parts of town, I've gotten to try Waymos. And let me just say, Waymo supremacy. I was scared. I was skeptical. I was like, we shouldn't trust the robots. That's scary. But then I realized I would rather trust a robot than a man. And I'm not proud to say that, but men unfortunately have a much worse track record than robots. So yeah, I would rather be in a Waymo. And like, I was riding in a Waymo with a couple girlfriends a few weeks ago and then a girlfriend over the weekend. And it was just like Waymos in essence have such a feminine energy to them. They're like, hey, like, welcome. And it's unfortunate. They did have to like have the Waymos start to do an announcement of like what, like a plain announcement of what you are and are not allowed to do in the Waymo. And you know, it's just because some fucked up freak was trying to like terrorize the robot and like ruin it for everybody. So I'm like, everyone just be respectful of your Waymos. Like, don't be fucking weird. But they just have such a feminine energy. No one's like listening to your conversation. You can play whatever music you want. No one's going to like make weird small talk with you. I just absolutely love Waymos. And I hope and I pray that someday my neighborhood becomes a Waymo zone because I do feel for people who make a living driving. I can understand that Waymos would be really scary. But for the male drivers who are creepy, I'm like, yeah, we've got your fucking number and we're calling Waymo instead. Okay. I feel bad for the like normal people and the like normal men who aren't predatory. But unfortunately, as a woman, we really don't know the difference when we're getting into someone's car where a man is driving. So Waymo supremacy all the way. If you're a Waymo and you're listening to this podcast, just know I love you, girl. I'm a huge fan of your work, and I can't wait until we can hang out again. In closing, there's something new that I've decided I'm very passionate about, and it is a man chewing slutty little gum. And I am copywriting that term, slutty little gum. We've heard of slutty little glasses. We've heard of slutty little chains, slutty little gum. Ben Affleck is a pioneer of the slutty little gum. But most recently, Jake and I were watching the movie The Big Short, which I had never seen. And Jeremy Strong's character, Jeremy Strong, famously known as Kendall in Succession, his character in that chewed slutty little gum the entire movie. And I was like, good God, what a sexy man chewing that slutty little gum. And there was something about a man in control just chewing slutty little gum. Ooh, it does something for me. I would argue it does more for me than like a cigarette or a toothpick, which is saying something. Remember in Uncle Buck when that creepy guy is at the bowling alley and he's talking to the sister and he's like flipping the toothpick in his mouth and then it gets stuck between the roof of his mouth and his tongue? That part is so uncomfortable and also really funny. I should rewatch Uncle Buck. I love that movie. But anyways, next time you're out and about, or even like with your man, be like, you know, it'd be so hot if you chewed some slutty little gum because there is something about it. And then once you start noticing it, you can't unnotice it. You're like, that gum is so sexy. And like, I love something that serves like multiple purposes. It's like it's freshening his breath or it's helping him with his nicotine addiction while also looking incredibly sexy. I'm a theater kid. I love a prop. I love prop work. And what slutty little gum, like a hot man chewing slutty little gum does for a man's like character arc, if you will, is a lot for me. Gives him a lot of sex appeal. So justice for slutty little gum. Thank you so much for listening. If you don't follow me already, follow me across platforms at Hannah Aaron Brown. That's HANNAHAARON BROWN. If you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Send it to a friend. Post it to your story. Leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube. It all helps, and I'm so grateful that you're all here. And thank you for all your sweet messages and for listening. I love y'all. And get excited because next week's episode, I am joined by a very exciting guest, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So have a great rest of your week. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.